Alright, what's up everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Salt Mines, the show where we get to watch StarCraft players' egos smash into the brick wall of defeat and fragment into 1,000 pieces. In the top right side of the map, we've got Natas, the Protoss player, up against Steel Pig in the bottom left. I like that name, I don't know why. Steel Pig. I feel like I've come across this name before, people have told me about it. It's like a term for like a tank or something, like it's a Steel Pig. I can't remember exactly. I feel like it's a reference to something. Either way, the Zerg player in the bottom left, Protoss in the top right, and it's going to be Royal Blood. In previous weeks, we've seen all sorts of weird things. We had someone self-dox themselves last week, which was truly a unique experience. Now, there's a bunch of people in the comments saying, oh, I've had this same person say, oh, you know, I'm Jared Schreiner, the same name, same address, same phone number. Well, people didn't know it was the same address and phone number, but because I obviously didn't show that, but it was all getting posted. And apparently this person just copy-pasted this to every single person from that last episode. And then, oh, I'm going to have to talk about the game. Sorry, guys. We don't have much time on the backstory. Forge, there's a sneaky cannon rush behind the natural. Oh, this is why the second Overlord is meant to sit above your expansion, or at least go over it to make sure this doesn't happen, because the hatchery doesn't have a lot of vision. Oh. So anyway, long story short, there was someone in the comments who said a few weeks earlier they played against that same dude from last week. And that their buddy played them and actually started texting them. They texted the number and said, you know, basically, lol, like, just kicked your butt. You suck at StarCraft or something. And the dude responded. I don't know how much I trust this YouTube comment, but the dude actually responded. And apparently they had a back and forth calling each other names for a few weeks. And then eventually they kind of like made peace and then would occasionally just like send each other a friendly text. So I don't know if it was true or not, or if someone made that up, because that was only one comment. But if anyone else did try to message that dude from the last game after playing them on the ladder, and who was, for those who didn't see the context, basically this guy was like, hey, come to my house and fight. You know, you want to fight? You wouldn't fight me in real life, you know, you pussy, that sort of thing. It was ridiculous. Oh no, Steel Pig's gonna find the cannon rush now. This sucks. This sucks for Steel Pig, because you've already finished that tree, you can't cancel it. He's gonna pull this drone back to the main. I'm gonna go second gas. It looks like we're gonna break out on one base Ravager. Unfortunately, these drones, you gotta pull these drones back. You gotta change the rally points, mate. Steel Pig, you gotta change the rally points. Ouch. Ooh, 2 drones going down already. Spinecrawler does build on the high ground, but no Rotoran just yet. A lot of people do like that safety Spinecrawler, but bit of a safety blanket, and already with the gas coming up behind it. Now, there's no gateway started, so Natas, despite having a cannon rush that will almost definitely kill this hatchery, doesn't really have a transition on the way yet. But Steel Pig is definitely very worse off. I mean, this is 40 APM. Oh, we're in like Silver League. Okay, this is like a Silver League game. I mean, their builds look better than Silver League though. Maybe it's gold. Either way, very, very low APM. Lol, how would you just allow this? Whoa, Natas. Well, going for a cannon rush, catching your opponent off guard. And then getting a little bit cocky there, mate. Just taunting your opponent. Not a good look. It's always the most embarrassing thing. I think, you know, it kind of shows a lack of self-awareness, because if you taunt someone you're beating at a competitive activity, it basically shows that in your mind you truly think you are the center of the universe, and you're incapable of truly appreciating that other people have, you know, their own feelings and thoughts. Like for you, it's this purely ego-driven, I have to tell you how bad you are. And I've always said, hey, if you're beating your opponent in a game, that should feel pretty damn good. You've done a good strategy, it's working. If you need to then tell your opponent that they're losing, it shows such a level of mental frailty and weakness. Like, it truly is just that sign of like, oh no, you know, like it's not enough to just win. You need to tell your opponent you lost. And for me, that's always been kind of the really despicable thing, because it shows you don't even enjoy winning at the game. For you, it's about trying to put your opponent down and put yourself above them. It's this thing where you're trying to gain notoriety or importance and feel powerful. And I always feel like true power comes from a feeling of improving your skills at things and kind of getting better at something, right? And showing that skill. Whereas if you're just trying to put your opponent down, it's an emptiness. It shows how empty you are, and you know, no matter how much you do it and how much temporary relief it gives you, you still at the end of the day have to go back to living with yourself and knowing how much of a piece of crap you are. This shit is hilarious. So Natas is out here denying every base with cannons, cannoning a new expansion, and starting a plasma shield upgrade. What an idiot. You still haven't built a gateway, you moron. And guess what? There's a Nidus Worm on the way. Oh, is this not just like so many of those old fables about, well, pride gets you in trouble. What's the Aesop's fable? I literally almost threw a game after getting overconfident and kind of shit-talking my opponent the other day, and I almost threw it, and I felt really bad, and I was like, this, and it was a nice reminder to me. Like, I didn't shit-talk to them, but I was kind of like, oh, this guy's not very good. Like, I was saying in my stream, and then I almost lost the game. And it was a reminder of how much overconfidence ruins you. It reminds me of that fable because of the, what is it, the two roosters, right? One of them beats the other in a fight, and the winner flies up on top of the rooster house, and then the eagle swoops in and just kills it, and then the other rooster's like, oh, okay, I'm the head rooster now. This is sick. It's exactly what's happening right now. The probe's full. Yes, you kill the knights. It doesn't matter. The roaches and the lings are in here. Steel Pig absolutely has a justice boner right now. And so do a lot of you watching. Let's be real. We all have justice boners. Watching someone who talks shit like that after cannon rushing, getting their shit kicked in, it feels good, man. Get out of here. Just leave the game now. You try and build a cannon? Roaches are going to ruin your day, mate. To be fair, there's only 15 drones, so if Steel Pig could actually stabilize, they might be okay. Unfortunately, the +1 plasma shield hasn't finished yet. Like it would have made a difference. Why do you have 1200 gas and your gateway's just finished with no cybercore? Guys, there's low-level StarCraft, and then there's cocky, arrogant nincompoopery, and that's all Natas is doing here. Laugh my ass off, noob boy. Well, that's, I mean, you know when someone does the ha ha ha, I'm not upset, I'm laughing, ha ha ha, you're so bad. You are the worst player I've ever played. The classic lack of self-awareness is like, do you know what this says about your level of play, mate? Steel Pig says, laugh my ass off. You're a completely R-worded and blind. You got lucky, you little runt child. Oh, now they're just getting hateful because they can tell it's not working. Steel Pig is laughing up the victory going, oh, those tears. Give me those tears. Feed me those delicious nutrients, you absolute idiot. Oh, Nanas is so upset right now. I could drag it out. You're so bad, it'd take you 10 minutes to find and finish me. Well, you're truly grasping at straws. If you're like, I could waste some minutes of your time, but I'll give it to you, you effing N-word. Wow, wow, just going for the straight racism. And we knew they weren't an original or clever player at all. Steel Pig just says, laughs their ass off. And dude, this is so reminiscent. If we think so much about history, and so many battles have been lost due to hubris, due to overconfidence. And this is something which is such an important lesson. Like I said, I almost lost a game the same way the other day. You know, at this point, you get the cannon rush up. If you respect your opponent, you go, okay, they're not trying to defend it. They must be putting their resources elsewhere. Hey, there's a layer of second gas and a roach horn on the way. And you'd be like, quick, get the gateway, get the cyber core. Got to defend my main base from Nidus worms. You know, that's where respect for your opponent gets you. But I find the moment I even a little bit go, oh, I don't think my opponent's very good. This isn't a very competitive game. The moment I disrespect my opponent, I find myself, even without typing that in the chat, I don't say anything, I just might be like, oh, this guy's not very good. Oh, this game's not that competitive. I don't really care, whatever. I immediately play worse. I almost threw a game. I got this like this massive Immortal Colossus army surrounded by roaches, 360, destroyed. And I was like, oh, and it was the deep embarrassment I felt of realizing I had a massive advantage. And because I was overconfident, I made the worst possible mistake, the worst possible thing. And this reminds me of so many battles in history. I think of the goddamn, in World War II, the British generals in defending Singapore. They're just like, the Japanese are like subhumans, man. Haha, what are they going to do? And they've got like all this intel being like, they have a really good army. They're going to come mess us up. And they're just like, we can't build defenses. That would lower the morale of the people in the city. And you're just like, oh, you guys are such morons. And, you know, this fortress city gets overrun in a couple of days when it was meant to hold out for 6 months or more. It's one of those things. We've seen it 1,000 times in history. We've seen it 1,000,000 times in online video games. And Natas just got that lesson the wrong way. Brought out every single insult. I could waste your time. You're an idiot. You're blind. You're stupid. You're R-worded. You're a runt. And they even brought out the racist word at the end. Truly grasping at straws. And it's that desperation, man. At that point, there is only one path to recovery. You need to take a deep breath, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a moron, I'm an idiot, and this is my penance for that. This is what happens, man. If you get cocky in StarCraft and you assume your opponent's a piece of crap, a Nidus worm's going to pop up in your back door and ruin your day. Gotta say, though, it's really fun to watch someone else on the receiving end of it. Hate to be in Natas' shoes here. That's where hateful behavior gets you though, mate. GG. All right, into the next one. Wow, already starting off good. We got the gentleman in the bottom right saying, good luck, have fun, smiley face in the countdown. Army of Snakes in the top left says, shut the F, yellow up. Question mark, shut the F up, you ugly runt. There's something so comical about getting in a StarCraft match, being like, hey, good luck, have fun, man. And the guy just immediately being at 100. You're like, oh my god, we're gonna have like a blood vessel. But I can just see a guy hunched over his keyboard, like, you know, in that pose where they're like leaning forward and there's like a vein throbbing on their forehead and they're just like, kill you, idiot, kill you. I don't believe these players played before this. I didn't have any info about there being a backstory to this game, so it seems like just someone's having a bad day on the ladder, and how dare you speak to them. Definitely, we've already got our salty opponent, I believe, in mind. Terran versus Protoss. The gentleman in the bottom right playing Protoss. Terran in the top left. And this is a pretty much higher level game. The gentleman, I think, is in Diamond League. His APM is very low right now, but just because he's not spamming in the early game doesn't mean that much. 130 APM for the Terran. Yeah, I think this is like a Diamond game. I can't remember exactly where the gentleman is. He is a regular on my stream. By the way, yes, I'm going to keep calling him the gentleman because I know it's the music genre. It's pronounced gent. Guys, if it was pronounced gent, it would just be J-E-N-T. And uh-oh, an SCV just died, guys. I think we're going to have him get triggered. But wait, oh, eBay block as well. Okay, so they both hurt each other here. The gentleman not noticing the SCV. And I get, by the way, that the category of music is supposedly pronounced that way. But let's be real, guys. I've been calling the gentleman the degenerate gentleman in my stream, in my community, in my clan for a long time. So I ain't going to be changing that anytime soon. Yeah, it's kind of a joke that, you know, streamers will always mispronounce someone's name for the first time they see it. And once I've named someone something, you know, I will always call them that for the rest of the time. I didn't actually know about the category of music until I had the gentleman explain to me 40 times in a row that I was saying it wrong. And then I was like, yeah, you know, I'm going to keep saying it wrong. And the more you say that, like, the more you're going to convince me to say it right. I'm what we call an idiot. So, yeah, trying to teach me things usually doesn't work very well. Nexus is pretty delayed. What's going down? This is the second gate? Oh, man. So the gentleman pulled a lot of probes. If you scout it this late on the eBay, it's not really worth pulling probes usually to stop that. It's actually a pretty successful opening for the Terran, even though they lost a worker at the start. They're struggling to focus fire the probe, though. You see, they're trying to start a step, I think, a little bit too quick. The problem most players have. Does end up getting the probe eventually, but the Nexus has started. Stalker's out. Bunker's on the way behind it. We've got a barracks, a second barracks, and a third. Oh, it's a 3 barracks. Oh, sentry's on the way, which will scout that, but not with a lot of time to spare, because that sentry has to pop out, hang out for 30 seconds, get energy for hallucination, and then the hallucination has to fly across the map. By that point, depending on how the build order gets executed, the Terran player could easily have stim almost complete and an army moving out onto the map. 3 barracks is going to usually hit you with a lot of Marines, and if the gentleman goes for a quick third, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. A Reaper's going down the south side right now. We've got a command center on the bottom. Reactor, so it's tech lab into reactor. That's interesting. Are we playing single tech lab? Normally you go reactor first to get the Marine count up, but we'll see. In this case, if it's going to be stim into shields with 2 reactors, gives you a big Marine count if you get 2 reactors. But, of course, it delays your upgrades getting finished. Gumiho likes to do that quite a bit. Robo's on the way as well. The gentleman playing a very turtley kind of slow style here is a little supply blocked as well. I gotta say, it feels like not the smoothest opening for the gentleman. Only being up 2 workers this early against a 3 racks does not feel good. Reaper gets a full scout of the main, sees the Robo. At least Robo can get Colossi out, which is the best tech against 3 racks, because there's going to be about 1 billion Marines hitting you in the face nice and early. Engineering bay going down behind here, so it's going to be +1 weapons, stim, shields. It is indeed double tech lab, but it's going to have a lower Marine count than normal because of the way this is opened up. Phoenix sees everything, and I think that's really good, because the gentleman's like, oh, okay, you don't actually have many units. You've just got to bunker a few extra Marines, and we're going to go for an Immortal. I would say Robo Bay first is more important, because Immortal, it's good for helping you survive, but you're not going to be able to start a Colossi for a very long time. 4 gates as well, and the gentleman stopped probing. The gentleman's kind of behind here, but if the Terran's stupid and just attacks up the ramp into like force fields and a lot of army, they will get wrecked. Probes have restarted. Twilight Council's on the way right now. The Reaper's still scouting around. This Terran is really scouting a lot. This is like paranoid levels of scouting. This is, I've played against corner bases before, and never again will I suffer the defeat of dying to a corner base or proxy Dark Shrine or something like that. Factory hasn't started despite it being 5 minutes, so the Terran build isn't perfect either. It's probably about Diamond 2, like low Diamond 2, high Diamond 3, something like that. Could be a bit higher than that, but the economy, man, 5 minutes, both only at 35 workers. That's especially rough for Protoss, who's meant to saturate their natural at 4 minutes, but that eBay block really messed things up. There's also 2 shield batteries building. The gentleman is really putting himself in a corner against this, going for just mass immortal charge on 2 base. Oh, that's normally a composition you want to have a quick third up. But with the factory being so late and the Terran moving out, who knows, maybe Terran shoves in. Third base is on the way though, so Terran definitely has the economy lead and just needs to defend for now. Let's see how that carries through to the decision making of these players. The Reaper has seen no third base. He knows there's a ramp with sentries, batteries, and immortals on top. Pushing up there would be a truly 0 IQ move. But, yeah, Army of Snakes is actually clever. Army of Snakes pulls back, has a factory finishing, and is simply ahead in this game. Now, the third base does start for the gentleman. What's crazy to me is the gentleman has no information. Never built an observer this game. Is just sitting there blind. Finally, a hallucination's going to go out. Pylons are being built. Okay. So the Phoenix is going to go in. We're going to see the army. It's going to kill this Phoenix really quickly. Uh-oh. Means no scout at the 3rd command center, which is a bummer. Meanwhile, this Marine comes in for Army of Snakes. He's going to see that 3rd Nexus on the way. Also scans. Where did he... Oh, he scans for the observer, but there's no observers that got built. 300 IQ move from the gentleman. If you don't build observers, they can't possibly kill them. Genius. The gentleman's building mass battery zealot. Oh, this is not good. So the gentleman's playing a really paranoid style. Basically, there's so much static defense, but with a zealot style, your zealots will charge out of the shield battery healing almost always. The sentries and the colossi can definitely use the batteries pretty well, but an awkward setup for the gentleman whose probe count is so low at 41 and is really, I think, relying on the Terran kind of overcommitting into a bad attack. Right now, I don't know who wins this fight. If that bio stims, it might be able to take him down. He's got +1, stim, shield, and concussive. But there is a battery there. Battery overcharge goes down. The Immortal survives. Good force fields. It's actually a pretty good fight to start. And a good pullback for the gentleman. You don't want to chase those force fields that are kind of blocking you. You can see the way that the Terran can kite those units down. Zzz. What? You attacked into a battery. You threw away some units into force fields and a shield battery. Turtle. How dare you defend your base? You know what, guys? So this is similar to the last game. I'm going to complain rather than adapting, right? In the last game, it was more, I'm going to be cocky rather than adapting and just be like, you're so bad. Why aren't you defending? You're so bad. Turtle, more shield batteries, 733rd, so bad. It is so bad. And how do you punish this, guys? You take a 4th command center right now. You go 2nd engineering bay, armory. You've already got a 2nd engineering bay armory, actually. Yeah, I mean, you're so far ahead. Just build a 4th on location, keep up worker production. And add Vikings for the Colossus once they're out, or just go straight to range Liberators. Does that count as everything? Or, alternatively, you can just forget to build medevacs. Finally, another 2 medevacs are starting, and just chill out. Now, once again, this is just the day of overconfidence. It's like, you're playing so bad, But think about it, everything in StarCraft has an advantage, and the gentleman's advantage so far has been incredibly careful, can't die. Okay, cool. What's the weakness of that? Well, if you're being incredibly careful, you can't really punish the Terran being greedy. So all Terran needs to do is be greedy, they'll get way ahead. But for some reason, Terran's building siege tanks right now, which they're not a terrible unit, but they're one of the lowest tier units in TVP. Really good if you go for a big, giant tank push with lots of tanks. But you need to set that up correctly if you want to do that. And with such a late 2nd factory, I don't think that's what's happening right now. We've got a 2nd engineering base starting +2 attack, no +2 armor just yet. The gases on the 3rd aren't up yet, and the SCV production's stalling out a little bit, so definitely need to see that fixed up. Oh my god, look at this SCV mining on the wrong side of the depots. That hurts. 4th Nexus starts for the gentleman. The gentleman is on a very weak economy and is super reliant on force field Colossus. Great army against bio, but tanks and Vikings will ruin it. So this is looking terrible for the gentleman. A lot of scans being used to check what the army's like. Workers still haven't been put on this gas, only on the other gas geyser. 2-2's on the way as well. 2nd starport. I mean, I feel like ever since they did the cocky comment, the macro's kind of gone down a peg. We've been supply blocked on 133. We're still scanning for observers that don't exist. We've been supply blocked for the last minute. Why? Still hasn't put on this 2nd gas. Hasn't been building workers or army. And now we're moving out and staring at it. You've already been supply blocked for a minute. How do you not notice this? For some reason, we're on 6 barracks. Normally, you build it 3, 5, 8. But for some reason, okay, yeah, this is hasn't built any army for the last minute. Has the barracks on max Q right now, guys. Barracks, factory, starports, max queued, nothing actually building. The tank army here is not bad, but the bio is not even protecting it. The army has to be in front. The Marauders need to be taking out those Colossus. The Marine Marauder will come forward. He looks like he has enough anyway to win the game. The gentleman is going to lose the Colossus. The Vikings should be able to take that out on the retreat. They do, and the bio is going to kill the 4th base. Despite terrible miss macro due to cockiness, Army of Snakes is still going to have the army, but he's clicking the Nexus rather than the army, and he's not stimming right now. Okay, bad micro there for this Terran player. Stutter steps in and takes a really awkward fight. He could have killed everything here, and you know what? He's still going to kill everything. Never mind. Oh, actually, the Colossus will save the day just barely. But terrible fight for Protoss. Great fight for Terran. Like I said, terrible fight in terms of how he executed that second part of it, but he just had the numbers, so it didn't matter. And now, despite still not building any depots, is able to build the army. He's going to go Ghost Academy and 4th Command Center. Hasn't transferred workers from that main, despite it losing half of its mineral patches 2 minutes ago. The Natural is going to lose half of its mineral patches in the next minute as well. As you can see, a few of these mineral patches are exceptionally low. That one's going to disappear literally right now. And still no depots building. Oh my god, we've been at 133 supply for like 3 minutes now. And we're hitting another supply block on 133. Dude, Army of Snakes. This is what happens. The moment you shit talk your opponent and you disrespect them, you play like arse because your opponent's not a serious composition. They're not worth playing properly against. And your ego takes over. I don't know anyone who plays good StarCraft when the whole point is just, I'm so much better than you. You're so bad. You're so trash. You're not even worth me playing. This army is barely an army. It's a handful of bio, a tank, and a few Vikings. Despite that, cleaning up these Zealots really well. 2-2 versus 1-1. And as long as the bio gets out of there away from the Colossus, this is great. The army's heavily overstimmed though, and he seems to be confident attacking into a battery overcharge. Not the best move. We're still at 133 supply and supply capped, guys. Still at 133 supply. We have not built a depot in like 4 minutes. We could have so much more army. We have so much stuff queued up that can't build. So we're going in with these small chunks of money. We're going to start a step into a choke point. Somehow we managed to kill a Colossus despite that being such a dumb move. And look at this. You can see the way he's attacking. He's just A-moving across the map now going, oh, this is over. This is so easy. This is so easy. Command center finished, which has put us up to 148 supply. We still have not built a depot now in at least 3.5, 4 minutes. What is going on? Despite that, we're going to win this game eventually, it seems. Like, these trades are still pretty good for us. They could be a lot better if we actually spent our money and got our army together. Yeah, at this point, you want to pull back because those warp-ins, the defender's advantage, are going to be really good. We're way over-committing now. And we're still building tanks, which are the worst possible unit to be building in this scenario. We're still attacking forwards and trying to click on Archons. We're throwing our medevacs away. Those medevacs are going to go down, man. Oh my god, we're going to lose like 1 medevac, 2 medevacs, a 3rd medevac. The guys are still just rallying in. We're just staring at the front and F2A moving. And then just producing our hotkeys. There is literally no macro happening behind this besides the occasional SCV queuing up, which are obviously stacking on already massively oversaturated bases. All 3 bases are. All you need to do is take a moment, transfer workers, transfer the 4th, build depots, make 3-3, and just keep producing your army. But this Army of Snakes is like, no, I need to keep attacking. You don't need to keep attacking, mate. Macro, you absolute moron. Oh my god. And look at this, guys. Hasn't dropped a mule in minutes. Hasn't dropped, could just drop supply drops even to max out the supply. But now we're supply blocked again on 148. It's equal upgrades again. The gentleman is hanging on by a thread. Army of Snakes. This has got to be the silliest play ever. It's actually crazy because even if you purely selfishly just want to play better StarCraft, you actually should have good manners and respect your opponents because it makes you play better StarCraft. I think anyone who's been in competition knows the moment you completely disrespect your opponents, you're going to play worse because you're not focusing on your own game. You're not focusing on doing things properly. You don't feel like you have to. You're just like, these guys are shit. They're so freaking bad. And anything that doesn't go right for you immediately is a crushing blow to your ego because you can't believe that someone who's so trash could ever have any success against you. Anything that goes right for them and doesn't go perfect for you is going to crush your ego so hard. You're not in the moment playing the game. You're too busy thinking on this outside egotistical level about you're so trash, you're so trash, you're so bad, you're not even worth my time. And to be fair, they are ruining the gentleman right now. The gentleman's just fighting, trying desperately to hang on. But the gentleman has a big gas bank. If he can make Archons, that'd be good. And look at this. The Stalkers break out and kill the Libs and Vikings. Nice breakout. If those probes can get back to mining, which they will. The gentleman has 3-3 on the way as well. Army of Snakes has not continued making units. It's just stimming across the map. This is the derpiest attacks I've ever seen. It's just rallying units in like an absolute moron. It's like, dude, just take a breath to do some macro. Group your army together. He's able to warp in 10 units and you're just trickling 2 or 3 units at a time. Just take 2 seconds to actually build your army up. Well, why are we building workers? You've got 16 out of 8. You've got 16 out of 2. That mineral patch is about to be completely gone. And you had like 23 out of 14 there. You literally not built a depot In the last 7 minutes of this game, you've not dropped a mule. Okay, finally, we've dropped mules. At least that'll give us pretty much unlimited money to keep playing like such a moron. This is wild. I mean, I've seen tunnel vision before. I've never seen someone, look at this, building over 80 workers, when with just 60 workers, they could be mining at 100% efficiency. Oh my lord. Is gonna kill another Nexus here. Does cancel some of this. No, we didn't finish the Nexus there. Change targets to stop some of the warp in, but they do get a refund for the Zealots that got cancelled. 3-3's almost finished for Protoss. We're attacking with what? 4 Marauders, 8 Marines, 4 Medevacs? Like, what is this army? A random tank rallying in? Why are we doing all this frantic high APM, like the 200, 300 APM trying to micro this? Why are we sieging a tank on the front? Keep it in your pants, you absolute moron. This is your classic Terran's so much harder than Protoss. Terran's so much harder than Protoss. I can't believe you won because your race is OP. And it's like, you've done everything possible to make this game as chaotic and bad for yourself as you possibly could. You're now at a negative with the units lost, despite having so much more money and stuff than your opponent the whole time. 3-3's about to kick in. There's an army here. We're still only on 6 barracks. And we're not even building Liberators right now. We've got almost no units. The Medevac accidentally loading up units. And yeah, this is ridiculous. There's a 5th base down here. We could have split up units and done some harassment. Would have done massive damage. We could have queued up Liberators to attack model bases. We're going to send a drop across, which is a good idea. But like, the production level is just so bad right now. And there's so many idle workers. It is absolutely insane. The Zealot Archon's going to attack it. There's nothing to defend. It turns out running your units into a meat grinder 14 times in a row is a bad strategy. Oh, I cannot wait. What is the Salt going to be after this game? It is no way it has any attachment to reality. Because there's no way you literally don't build a depot for 8 minutes and then have any understanding of what actually happened. Because you have to be a special kind of level of denial in order to play this bad of a game of StarCraft. But you know what? It was the moment they said turtle, more shield batteries, 730, third base, so bad. The moment you shit on your opponent's build, you think they're not worth competing against, the moment you play like crap. That was a really good defensive fight there, actually. That was kind of bad for the Gentleman. And the Nexus in the top right goes down, but Gentleman has 90 probes. How the hell does the Gentleman have 90? Okay, so the Gentleman also just keeps expanding and has way too many bases, but they've got 3-3. If they lose a base, they don't really care. And this base up here, it's just a planetary and a couple of units. There's still max energy on one of the orbitals. This one has quite a bit. They could drop a lot of mules right now. This is the first time we're scanning for the Observer. Would actually be a good call. The Bio Army runs out into the Zealots. Clicks on the Archon. Why are you targeting Archons? This is the most try-hard micro I've ever seen. They saw Maru targeting Archons. They decided this is a good thing to do in Diamond League. Don't get me wrong, it's usually okay, but it's like, it's way more important to pull back from the Zealots and start a step away from this army. But look at this, trying to individually target Stalkers. It has been 10 minutes of raging Terran micro-boner. Just going, click on things, 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 click on things. It's like, dude, I don't mind if you play this way, but if you play this way and get cocky, and then you get angry about your opponent, Zealots, that's it, Zealots. Archons, Stalkers, Colossi, Sentries, and Immortals. Naming just a few of the units he's built this game. 3 Immortals, 4 Archons, 5 Colossus, 9 Sentries, 18 Stalkers. That's it, you're so bad. The Gentleman says, look, 4 Stalkers. I don't know, what's the Gentleman saying? Look, 4 Stalkers? I don't know what's happening. I mean, the Gentleman's got this in the bag because he's actually got money. You know why? Because he macroed in the last 10 minutes of this game. We were at 148 supply. The only reason we're below that is because we lost a command center. Lose every fight, make Zealots 1A. 1A? Mate, all you did was rally across the map. Yes, you frantically microed your units, but you were always microing like 2 Marauders versus 8 Zealots and wondering why you don't win. Learn to play, you for Joe. Comes out with a homophobic slur. The Gentleman says, wow, it feels like I'm winning. And he's just making Stalkers now, which is actually not a good unit for this stage. But I think he's trying to just insult the opponent. Feels like I'm winning, says the Gentleman. Why would I learn to play if I'm the one who's winning? Maybe you need to learn how to play. You're bad. You lost every fight. Units lost tab begs to differ. The first 5 fights, even when you were rallying like an idiot, you were winning because you were so far ahead. But then you kept rallying while not microing, and you went from a 5,000 resource advantage to a 5,000 resource deficit. That's because you are what we call a nincompoop. You lost every fight, turtled. I gave up, thinking any normal person would leave. Nah, you just make Zealots and F1A, you stupid runt. The delusion is amazing. We have to do a timer, guys. 19.5 minutes. Watch the production tab. When was the last depot built? I think it was about 7:30. Okay, guys, let's take a look. So we're going to build... No, there's got to be one more from here. 1 or 2 more depots from this point. Because it was 133 supply. Okay, so this is the last 3 depots get built here. They all start on the 8-minute mark. So on the 8-minute mark, Army of Snakes builds their last 3 depots and then sits at 133 for the next 5 minutes until their 4th command center finishes, and then 148 for the rest of the game. All right, well, apparently it didn't end there. The Army of Snakes messages, the gentleman says, "Get cancer, you effing idiot." Gentleman says, "If I'm bad, what does that make you?" Not leaving after losing your 3rd like 3 times because I stopped macroing. They do realize they stopped macroing. That's good to know. The gentleman says, I won? Why should I leave? Laugh my ass off, you stupid runt. I killed your 3rd and you have no units, you stupid runt. But you didn't win, did you? Nah, stop macroing thinking it's over. Well, that's not my fault, is it? Well, any normal person would leave, so you should kill. Wow, saying they should kill themselves. Ouch. You fat effing virgin. Any normal person would leave, you fat virgin. I'm not normal. The gentleman's just like, yeah, I know they would, but I guess I'm not normal. I'm not a normal person. That's fine. It doesn't affect me. Well, staying in an obviously lost game. You lost your 3rd and your 4th with no Colossus, and you don't GG. Laugh my ass off, you R-word. Effing kill yourself. Well, what did we learn from that, though? Never stop playing until the game's over. This is a really good lesson for you, actually. Oh, God, that is a stinger. Gentlemen, that is absolutely 300 IQ. That's going to drive him crazy. Better things to waste my time versus R-words like you piece of shit. Not only did you waste your time, but you also lost. So that's the thing. He's like, better things to waste my time. And gentleman's like, well, you stayed in the game for another 10 minutes from when you won the game. So you did waste your time and you lost, right? I had things to do. You're dog shit. Sit on shield batteries for 20 minutes. If you had things to do, why are you messaging right now after the game? They just have zero self-awareness, man. I feel like, oh my God. I feel like these guys are, they're like politics streamers on Twitch. They're just like people who just say the most inane random things. It's great. Oh. Sit on shield batteries for 20 minutes, making me bored. Learn to play. You ugly pig fan. Something. He says, say hello to Pig for me. I have a feeling this is going to get featured. The player is ignoring you. Wow. Beautiful. That was lovely. All right. Great to see the I didn't want to waste my time. How dare you try to waste my time. Here I am wasting my time shouting at you for trying to waste my time because you defended your base with shield batteries. Gotta love it. We've all been there before. We've all kind of said, oh, well, if you're building shield batteries, this is stupid. But, they kind of did most of the steps to countering it by macroing. They just didn't do the follow through and, build supply depots. It is what it is. And they way overbuilt workers. No transferring workers, no depots. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you guys play some crazies on the internet, send me the replays. Links down below in the description. You can also support the channel if you want to go above and beyond. Check out the Patreon. There's a link down there. You can be a D-Town Express conductor. That's right, it's the train to D-Town. You know what that means. Max Ands on there. Currently no Leviathans, but a big thanks to everyone who has been supporting the Patreon. Thank you so much. Hope you have a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and everything else going on around this time of year. Have a good one. Catch you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.